Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 19. So then you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God. So yesterday I brought up an analogy of God's work of salvation being similar to being welcomed into a perfect kingdom. Despite not deserving this wonderful place to dwell, God purifies us and redeems us so that we can become citizens of His kingdom. He makes us people who are not of this world anymore. Our citizenship lies beyond this life, in a place that is infinitely more wonderful than what we see here. And in addition to this, God has blessed us even further by welcoming us into His own household. Not only are we made citizens of God's heavenly kingdom, but we are actually members of the household of God, adopted into His own family, and destined to dwell with Him for all eternity. How precious a gift this is. But what exactly can we expect from this household? What are we really looking forward to here when we talk about this? Well, I believe that the psalmist captures the emotions and the joys of God's household better than anyone else in Psalm 84. So I'd like to read a few passages from that today, starting with Psalm 84 verses 1 and 2. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts! My soul longs, yes, faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh sing for joy to the living God. The psalmist begins by simply proclaiming how wonderful God's dwelling place actually is. It is wonderful. It is lovely. How great is God's palace? How great are His courts? And how great is His house? And then he speaks about his own emotions. He finds himself longing to be in God's house, longing to be in the courts of the Lord. His soul longs and faints for God's courts. This is the intense desire to be in this blessed home, and for a good reason. What this demonstrates to us is just how wonderful it is to be dwelling with God. It should be desired more than anything else. We should be longing to be with Him, hoping and waiting for that day when we will be with Him forever. Later in this same psalm, the writer compares God's household to other pleasures in life. Psalm 84 verse 10. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wickedness. I love this statement here in Psalm 84. He makes his opinion known straight out. One day in God's courts, one day in His house is better than 1,000 anywhere else. One day being with God far surpasses even 1,000 days of the best this world has to offer. I mean, do we know what kind of statement that actually is? If we know Scripture is true, and we believe that it cannot be broken, then this speaks volumes about how wonderful it actually is to dwell with God and to live in His house. Just having a single day with Him is better than 3 years of living in the greatest pleasures this world has to offer. His household is better than dwelling in the tents of wickedness. What this really speaks to us is how wonderful of a blessing it is to be accepted into God's household. It is a great gift to be promised a place in God's kingdom, and specifically in His house, because this joy and this pleasure will be infinitely better than anything we've ever experienced. So spend some time reflecting on that today. This is a great truth. God is to be desired above all else. He is greater than all else, and because of that, His household will be the most wonderful place we can dwell. Thank you for watching, and God bless.